Far Cry 6 has taken over my life recently and I absolutely love it. So much so that I've compiled all the secrets I've found and those found by the community and put them into one video. And this is that video. We've got ghosts, we've got Street Fighter 2 characters as chickens, we've got a way to link all the Far Cry games together. So sit your butt down for 15 minutes and enjoy 40 secrets and Easter eggs found in Far Cry 6. On the starting island, one of the first Easter eggs you will find is here at this suspicious looking tower. If you're getting Assassin's Creed vibes, you're already onto something. Scale this building and you'll see a wooden board, and should you walk to the end, a very familiar sound can be heard. The eagle's cry to signal a leap of faith in Assassin's Creed games. And sure enough, on the ground below is a haystack to jump into, like you've seen hundreds of assassins do before you. Jumping down though will result in your death. Assassin's Creed has taught us to not question things like this, but wait around and an NPC should bring you back to life, hopefully. If you are more into scary Easter eggs, be sure to visit the cemetery in Conuccio. You'll find this building and inside is a note which talks about a ghost in the vicinity. Turn around at the right time and you'll see a blue glow quickly vanish. To get the full Easter egg, you need to come back here at night. This time, when you read it, the ghost will be waiting behind you and directs the player to a nearby grave. Here is another note which talks about the death of a young soldier, which caused this man and his wife to separate. Scary and sad, all in one. I thought this was the end of the Easter egg, but no, it continues. By simply travelling to the place mentioned in the final note, Casa Dario, you'll find this.
Luas must be watching me.
Yeah, it's a tomb of the wife who was slain by the husband because he was jealous that she was moving on from her grief about their son's death. Wow, that was darker than I expected. Let's crack on. A happier Easter egg can be found at multiple locations on the map, thanks to a dynamic system they have where events change randomly. For example, up in the right hand corner of the map, escaped captives will free each other from their shackles. Then, by returning later, they have collected items to build a raft. And finally, a little later on, you'll visit again, the final survivor completes that escape raft. And this also looks like a Castaway movie Easter egg. He even has a ball to keep him company, the new Wilson. Another example sees this guy happily using a gas canister to add a little more heat to his cooking. But if you keep coming back here, this will happen. Hot stuff. The dynamic events continue, and thanks to Reddit, a spot was quickly found which rotates through many random events, which is just here on the map. Each time you visit, the event will change. It could be an arrest, it could be a dead horse, it could be two guerrillas digging a grave for a fallen soldier, or it could be one of these two. The first is something I cannot explain, a canister of poison with a ring of flamingos and fish around it, and I honestly have no idea what this means. If you could help me out, please do so. I'll be in the comments trying to figure out what this is. However, there is a 1 in 20 chance you will face this. A bucket in the sand. Seems legit, right? Well, shoot off that bucket to reveal a human buried up to his neck. This looks to be an Easter egg to the same event in Far Cry 3. That was called Welcome to the Internet, which was yet another Easter egg referencing the advertisement for Far Cry 3 in which Vass buried McLovin and tortured him. That became such a big part of the attention around the game that Vass and the buried man were on the front cover of the final game. But wait, this is not the end. We can add a third Easter egg to this. Using photo mode, it's possible to pose Danny in many different ways, and one of those happens to be Vass, a near identical pose with twin handguns, allowing us to recreate the front cover of Far Cry 3 in Far Cry 6. This whole thing is like Easter egg inception, but damn, it was good. FYI, there are other poses and references to other games and movies whilst in photo mode. We have the iconic Marvel superhero pose after landing on one knee.
Woo! Superhero landing!
For some reason we have the pose from the movie Platoon. I guess it fits. It's a war movie about jungle warfare and guerrilla tactics. We have the Assassin's Creed jumping pose when the assassin's about to strike their prey. There's a pose from The Father in Far Cry 5. And this one, does anyone remember this one? It's a viral video from long ago. A man would approach women on the beach and do a backflip and set into this pose to start a conversation. That guy is smooth. There's a Ubisoft Easter egg treasure trove to be found. Sadly, it isn't a literal treasure trove, it's notes. And let's be honest, who actually reads notes in video games? During the cash money treasure hunt, you'll be taken to this airfield. Inside the bunker is a few references to other games. This note has 4 items listed on them. Let's start from the bottom and work upwards. A pair of ancient concealed blades that can be extended and retracted from a gauntlet.
Incredible. Yes, it is.
This must be the hidden blade from the Assassin's Creed series. Above that is a simple urn, which is most likely that of AJ's mother in Far Cry 4. Next up is a knife of Chinese origin featuring a silver dragon icon. I'm guessing this is the knife from Far Cry 3. And finally, an ancient spear, once broken, repaired multiple times. I thought this was a Far Cry Primal reference, but the word on the street is this is the ancient spear of Leonidas in the Assassin's Creed series. But wait, there's one more Easter egg in this room. Over by the shelves is a note describing a forgotten Ubisoft game, Starlink Battle for Atlas, a space-themed adventure game from 2018. And to confirm this, there is one of the models right next to it, on the shelf. I've got to admit, I've never played Starlink. Have you? And speaking of Ubisoft games, and in particular Far Cry games, since Far Cry 4, we've always had a shortcut way to end the game. In 4, we could simply sit at the table for 15 minutes and be recruited by the man we were sent to overthrow. In Far Cry 5, we could simply refuse to arrest the father, walking away. And now in Far Cry 6, we can simply sail away. Grab a boat and leave the map however you choose. The moment most of us figured this out is after the first set-piece mission where Dani shows that she's not really into this rebellion lark and is given a boat to sail away. And then we receive this secret ending.
In other news, war has ended in Yara. President Anton Castillo announced that Clara Garcia, the leader of the terrorist group Libertad, was killed by his special forces. And as the pandemic tightens its grip on the globe, the federal government may impose another nationwide lockdown. But first, how about something a little more upbeat?
Not the greatest ending, but at least Dani got to the States like she always wanted. And yeah, my Dani is a girl. Deal with it. There is a double Easter egg to find in the town of Concepcion. A treasure hunt will have you locate the Emerald Skull, something clearly based on the Crystal Skull Indiana Jones movie. You can actually find Indy's body along the way. Sorry, bro. Once we find the Emerald Skull, a booby trap sets off, just like in the movies, and we have to jump for our lives. But in addition to this, read the notes around the area and you'll find them from a guy with a very similar name to Alan Quatermain, the hero of the 1885 novel by H. Rider Haggard about King Solomon's Mine. Indiana Jones was heavily inspired by that novel. So, have you tried the game within a game, the Chicken Brawler? I'm not going to use its real name because YouTube doesn't like it, so I'm going to stay clear. Well, did you know that there is some free DLC in the Ubisoft store you can grab right now? Sets of roosters for all, but some of these are very familiar to gamers like me and you. There is a pair named Frosty and Toasty, styled to look like Scorpion and Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat. The small print on Toasty references Scorpion's iconic "get over here" move, this time called inviting his foes closer. Oh, and the name Toasty is also an Easter egg to an Easter egg in Mortal Kombat. Street Fighter have a pair of battling male chickens too. The dragon and his rival are intended to look like Ryu and Ken in that iconic series. The fighting arena is heavily based on Tekken, so I'm expecting some of those fighters to be added soon. Let's keep an eye on that store and that free DLC. Here's an Easter egg I haven't verified, but I really hope it's true. At various points around the island, there are hubs which give off this Morse code sound. It turns out someone went to the trouble to decode them, and some of them read, "Cameron Britton is the greatest sound designer of all time." And guess who Cameron Britton is? None other than Ubisoft's lead sound designer. There are other nods to the development team of Far Cry 6 around the world. There's a shout out to a group of developers if you get your butt over to a place called Maria Masquesa Productions. Sorry for that terrible pronunciation. There is a trailer here with a purple line across it, and a note sitting on the desk which thanks those developers. GG devs. Do you remember when QR codes came out and they were everywhere in video games? We had to get out our phones in real life and scan the screens. Well, Far Cry 6 has brought them back. Scanning codes in the game with your phone will lead to a few strange places. These shipping crates will send you to a short animation which looks to be teasing the DLC for the game coming soon. And was that an armoured battle cat? Another scannable code is found on the blood dragon pet you may have with your copy of the game. Yeah, the code is around his neck. Grab your phone and scan this to be taken to a site from Dolph Laserhawk, fresh out of Far Cry Blood Dragon. This will then lead you to a puzzle to be solved, which then leads you to a teaser for the upcoming Netflix show about Captain Laserhawk. Very meta. Before we move on to the last big Easter eggs, a few things the community has noticed. There is a Full Metal Jacket weapon charm. The small print reads, "What is your major malfunction?" A line straight from the movie of the same name, which is another movie about guerrilla warfare.
What is your major malfunction, numbnuts?
If you kill a shark with a grenade, you'll unlock the trophy Jawsome in honor of the Jaws movie and how they dispatched a much bigger shark with an explosion. This trophy is actually another double Easter egg with a play on words about Jason Brody, the main protagonist in Far Cry 3. And remember when that was revealed? One of the first things we saw Jason do was punch a shark in the head. Jason Brody is awesome. He's Jawsome. Another trophy is named at Can You Pet the Croc, after meeting your first amigo. This is a nod to the Twitter account Can You Pet the Dog, which chronicles all the animals, mainly dogs, that can be interacted with in video games. There's a couple of Breaking Bad references in Far Cry 6. The first is actually a nod to another evil character played by Giancarlo Esposito, Gus Fring. Take a listen to this line from Gus.
A dog who bites every owner he's had can only be disciplined with a firm hand or put down.
And now, move a few words around and listen to Anton pretty much say the same thing.
And if a dog refuses to break, like Julio here, then we must put them down.
It's like they are the same character. They even look and sound a bit similar too. A second Breaking Bad Easter egg is out in the world on another note. On a refrigerator at a Bascal farm, you can read about a bald meth dealer from American TV. I don't know many of them, so it has to be Walter White, right? Now let's go through a series of Easter eggs and secrets that link all the Far Cry games into one chronology. We already know the timelines are converging thanks to the DLC coming to the game soon. I'm sure you've spotted the video game system ready to unlock this feature in the future, with images of Joseph Seed, Vass and Pagan Min just waiting to be unlocked. During your time in Yara, you'll encounter Lorenzo, an old guerrilla who has fathered a few children, shall we say. In one side mission, we hunt down 7 of his illegitimate children. It's just weird, okay? 2 of them were accidentally in a relationship together, which is really gross the more you think about it. Anyway, one of those kids can only be found after sniffing this plant, a bliss flower from Far Cry 5, which causes hallucinations. And just like in Far Cry 5, the person we're trying to get to teleports away, leaving this green glow behind.
Welcome to the bliss.
And it must be said, both women wear a very similar dress and act in a very similar way. And then, have a listen to what they say.
It's from Lorenzo Canseco, the father. Your real father.
Despite all that you have done, you are not beyond salvation. You are not here by accident or by chance. Thank you for this letter.
You're welcome.
Everything is unfolding according to God's plan. I am still here with you. The first seal has been broken.
Okay, I'm out.
The father, the seals, it's all from Far Cry 5. So that links Lorenzo, via his daughter, to that of Joseph Seed in Far Cry 5. And should you go back to Lorenzo's house, he has a copy of a magazine, and look who's upon it. None other than Pagan Min. He's still alive. I don't know how, because he definitely died in Far Cry 4. But hey, let's see how they get round this. Another Far Cry 5 reference can be found through a side mission for Juan. We'll be sent to find a shipping container filled with American weapons. Yet when we get there, we find this.
How did you get in here, boy?
He looks a great deal like Boomer from Far Cry 5, and Danny even gives him a new
Juan.
name.
Give it a name.
Okay, how about Boom Boom?
Perfect.
Boom Boom, probably changed as the word boomer kinda means something different these days. Boom Boom is acceptable, I guess. it turns out that Juan is very much aware of the other wars around the world. Take a listen to his opening words in the game.
Today we drink in the worst cantina in Yara. Or is it Colombia? Kirat, Chechnya.
He mentions Kirat straight out of Far Cry 4, and should you visit his headquarters later in the game, you'll receive this dog tag, and look who it belongs to. Willis Huntley, an American CIA agent who's more like an arms dealer and smuggler, to be honest, who appears in Far Cry 3, 4 and 5. So, these two characters know each other. I don't want to go into spoiler territory, so I'll not explain this one very well, just like all the others. Later in the game, there is an option to speak to McKay. It may be tough not to shoot him on sight, but if you resist, he'll monologue about his ventures. This includes talking on a satellite phone to Willis, confirming he's still alive.
I'm happy you're late, Willis. It makes me look good, so.
And stick around even longer, and McKay will call Longinus from Far Cry 4.
Longinus, baby, where have you been?
Who, if I remember rightly, sent us to find a blood diamond. This could all be fan service, but it certainly feels like Far Cry is indeed one single timeline. But the biggest Easter egg and reference to the Far Cry world being one instance is heard after the game ends. Stick around after the credits to hear this.
Libertad thanks you for your support. And I come bearing good news. Our Ribiro supply has tripled.
You know, it's so sad about that Castillo kid. I mean, what his papa did. Wow, that is crazy.
Nah, a tragedy.
Well, you know, some people are just sick in the mind, hermano. They're out of control.
Same time next week.
Well, you can bet your life on it.
It's pretty clear that Juan is speaking to Vass. This could be some time travel BS, or maybe all the villains we thought died in their games are actually still alive, which makes me really keen to play the new DLC, which means I have to pay more money. Okay, that's quite clever, Ubisoft. GG's. So there we have it, ladies and gents, 40 secrets, Easter eggs and references to other pieces of media. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if I missed anything. I'll see you soon.